Well, welcome to the second meeting of July and for the County Commissioners, and we'd like to invite you to join us in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And thank you.
Before we get started with the meeting today, we are currently, and I guess from this point forward, will be live streaming these meetings. So anyone that has anything to say, please come up to the podium so the microphone will pick up your voice. That will make it a whole lot easier, and everybody will be able to be recognized and you know, obviously state your name, etc. But from this point forward, these meetings will be live streamed, so we ask for your cooperation. Thank you.
If you want to be a TV personality, just come right on.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're ready for the approval of the minutes from the July 7th meeting, or disapproval of the minutes, whatever.
I looked them over, and I'll make a motion to approve the meetings, or the minutes from the July 7th meeting and the executive session from July 14th.
I'll second.
Beth, I only have the one. I don't have anything from the executive session.
You have this, Scott?
Well,
I don't have it either, so it's printed out, so I'll find it.
Okay.
All it says, you know what an executive session says.
Yeah.
The states we have it.
Just that you have it and nothing else was discussed.
Okay, so I have a motion and a second to approve the July 7th meeting minutes. All in favor of that motion, please say aye.
aye.
Aye. Motion passed. And with that, we are now ready to go ahead with the claims.
Mr. Chairman, I'll move that we approve claims, all claims as presented.
Okay.
And I'll second.
Okay, I have a motion and a second to approve all claims as presented. Any question on them? Okay. Call for a vote. All in favor, please say aye.
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 Aye. Motion passed. And with that, we're ready for Bill Sylvester. And Bill, usually my questions and everything to you make us go over, but we have a, well, is it a hearing or not? I got corrected on calling it a hearing one time. Coming up at 9:15, so we got to.
Thank you.
Yeah.
For budgetary.
Oh, okay.
So I'm Bill Sylvester with Apex Benefits. I will be brief, especially if there are very few questions. So in the little package you have in your multicolored envelope, we have a copy of your renewal and all of the options associated with that. So from a prior committee meeting that I did not attend, I'm just going to review a little bit of this on page 2 of this report on titled Benefit Review Report. On the left-hand side of the packet on page 2, we looked at a lot of different options for you, a lot of different stop loss competitors stop loss quotes. People declined, or companies declined to quote because of your low specific deductible amount, which is fine because that's where you want it to be. And you also have some high-cost claimants, most of which are one and done. So most of which are like knee replacement surgeries. There was a couple more serious things that are some surgeries that are one and done. They won't affect you too much going forward. So on page 3 of this, where we're recommending that you land is on this. This is the first column with numbers is your current plan with an effective date of 8/1 of 25. So your renewal is of 8/1 of 24. Your effective date for your renewal is 8/1 or August 1st of 2025. And what we are recommending is for your renewal is the third column, which is firm renewal as is. And it's got a pretty hefty increase, but there are reasons for that. The one and dones, which we don't think will be a factor going forward. But it's your best offer. So if you look down on this page 3, the second bottom yellow line, total fixed and maximum cost, you're looking at a potential $306,000 increase to $1.7 million. That's all in worst case scenario. If you look down at the bottom line, bottom yellow line, total fixed and expected costs, you are expected to have about a $255,000 increase to $1.4 million, $1.465 million. Claims are variable costs, so that's assuming that you are going to have a certain amount of claims that you may or may not reach. 50-50 chance you will be over that, 50-50 chance you'll be under that. That's our recommendation, and that is your best offer on the table. Questions on that?
Either of you have a question?
No, I agree that
I think maybe for the benefit of anybody who might be listening, how many different companies do you go out and try to obtain quotes from?
Go back to page 2.
Okay.
On page 2, we went to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 stop loss carriers.
Okay.
And all of them refused to quote because of some higher cost claimants, and they didn't feel like they would be competitive with the incumbent. And your specific deductible, so your insured, the amount that you are responsible for is pretty low for a self-funded group, which is $45,000 per individual that you're responsible for before the stop loss carriers kick in. So they think that's low, so they think that their risk starts at a lower amount than they would like for it to. But because of the size of your group, because of the number of employees and people on the plan, you are better off with a lower spec deductible because you have so many people that have hit that you are minimizing your risk and putting it off on the stop loss carriers. So the carriers realize that, you do. You don't want to raise it because then your potential for each individual is higher. And we all agree that you are at the right level of your specific deductible. But to answer your question, that's how many people we went to.
Okay, thank you.
The other thing I will say, because of the type of plan you have, you are paying hospitals at a Medicare plus a reasonable profit margin built in. So you're paying them less than they would like to be paid, for sure. So you're paying bottom line costs, and as you have higher claimants that are one and done, or there's one, I believe, ongoing one, you're paying as little as you can. Sometimes you have a good year, like the year before, like last year, or the year before last. Sometimes you have a bad year, like last year. You just had a lot of things that came up that are hopefully just a one and done type situation. So on the medical plan, if there's no more questions, we're recommending that you renew as is with Imagine 360 60, AccuRisk as your reinsurer, and keeping the plan design the same. You want me to go to the next thing? So moving along to, let's see where we go. We'll go to your ancillary line. These should be pretty easy options. So go to, let's go to the organ transplant. You have an organ, on page 8. Your organ transplant policy, you offload your organ transplant patients, if there are any members, to its own organ transplant policy. That way it doesn't affect your claims liability. It goes on its own separate policy. We recommend that you stay, it's hard to get quotes for these, but we recommend that you stay with Optum, and that's going to be at a $1,434 increase to the county this year from $11,009 to $13,344. We think that's a valuable thing, as transplants can be very expensive, and this capture transplant liability at that $13,000. We recommend you stay with Optum as your organ transplant carrier. On the next, let's go to your ancillary lines on page 12. We'll start with dental. At the county's request, we looked at a lot of different dental options. We looked at adult ortho. We looked at different carriers, and because most of the dentist offices in and around the area that people go to are with Delta Dental, and not as many are with other carriers, it is our recommendation that you stay with Delta Dental at a 7.5% increase, or a little over $4,000 increase. Questions on that? On page 14, vision. We recommend that you stay with Lincoln. With Lincoln as the carrier for your voluntary vision coverage, and they are, yes, they're on a rate hold, so don't make a move there. Basic life on page 15, again, a rate hold. We recommend you stay put with Lincoln. Short-term disability on page 16, we recommend a rate hold for that as well. Or we recommend staying with the rate hold, I'm sorry. Questions?
Yeah, Bill, I guess back a couple of pages there was a insurance company or carrier that was a little cheaper than the one you recommended. You recommended Lincoln.
You're probably looking at dental.
Yeah, on page 14.
Yes, so dental.
And it had Delta Vision as a $2,000 savings.
A couple things there. So because or that's, is that Vision? Yes, Vision. So
Yeah, Vision.
Delta Vision with BSP, it's a brand new plan for Delta. So the problem with that is we don't quite know what the network is, because we don't quite know what the network is. It's VSP, but there's all different kinds of VSP. Secondly, because it's new, it's hard for them to properly quote it, let's say. So they probably come in low, and we have no idea what those renewals are going to look at. So while if you move people to that, it's at a $2,000 decrease, as you noted, but we don't know what that renewal is going to look like, and you've been pretty consistent so far with Lincoln.
Okay.
We just don't know what that new network is going to do.
Got it.
Any more questions? On the right-hand side of your packet, There are three single pages. The first one being, you get to decide what your premiums or your premium equivalents are based on if you choose the plan. These are based on if you choose the plan that we're recommending. So your current premiums or premium equivalents, how you fund your plan with the employer contribution and the employee contribution. Your current one is that top blue section, right? The top section, right? Those are the rates for employee only, employee spouse, employee and child, and family, both the employer and the employee contributions. And these are based on the expected claim amount. You with me, William?
No, I got it up.
The very top section is how your current premium equivalents for the current plan year.
Well, what's EEES and EC?
Employee, eligible employee only. The next is employee and spouse. So those are the rates that for them. Employee and child, those are the premiums for the employee and child rate. And then family, employee, spouse, children.
Got it.
And you're funding to the expected claims amount. So we are recommending the next section, the very next second section for your employee and your employer contributions or your premium equivalents. And there's a little bit of a bump because there's an increase. So we are recommending that next set of numbers as your premium equivalents, the combination of employee and employer contributions. Knowing that in the worst case scenario, if you go down to the very bottom section, in the dark numbers where it says total, your maximum liability, worst case scenario, is $1.8 million. So at some point between your reserve and how you fund it, you have to be able to come up with that number. The puzzle. But we think with what you have in reserve that you can fund to that expected number of that second blue section at $1.560 million. Stay with me here. The very next page is another blue section right behind it. The only thing that's important here is down below, looking at the section that says employee rates, tobacco rates per pay, and then there's tobacco rates per pay. You with me? So we recommend that you keep, as you have for the last couple of years, the employee rates the same, and the county pick up the difference. And in the next page, I will show you what that means. So those are the employee rates that you currently have. On the next page, this is our actuary figuring out if the employee rate stays the same, what does that do to the employer contributions? Okay, so a lot of numbers here on this page, but in that the section that's I guess you'd say upper left hand, those are what your premium equivalents would be, the first column there, for 25-26 for the 25-26 plan year. Those are the ones that we recommended on the first page I showed you. All right, then you take out per pay the non-tobacco rates for the employee, right? And the last column there in that first section is the county contribution per month. So it's everything over and above for each tier, what the over and above the employee rates that the county has to fund. You with me?
I'll go through that again.
It took me 3 times last night.
Yes. Quite a bit here.
I get it. Premium equivalents. What you're going to, in order to fund your plan, the premium equivalents column, it says PE up at the top. Those are the rates. Those are which we are recommending your rates be. To get to those rates, you charge the employees a payroll deduction, which is the next column. And if we recommend that those employee or EE contributions per 26 pay, that's the second column there. That's what you're currently paying. We're recommending you keep that the same. Skip over the next column. The last contribution is what the county has to pay over and above what the employee pays to get to the premium equivalents. You with me?
Got it.
I know it's convoluted, it's a short time, that's why they met beforehand. So, in order to get to the employer contribution, your contribution, look at the yellow section. Okay? The bottom line there in the yellow where it says county responsibility per employee per year is $13,231 per employee on the plan. So per employee on the plan, that's how much the county has to fund to get to the recommended premium equivalents. I left you, I forget the council people that know how you fund it. That's the number they need to get to. They will know who's the guy that came up with the number. Oh, okay, so maybe I need to have a conversation with them then. That's the number you need to get to. And by the way that you've been doing it before, I think we can easily get to that number. By using the formula that you've been using, the council has been using, that's how you need to get to that number. I can work that out with council.
To be honest, we didn't know that number like yesterday,
That's the number.
or the
You wanna know the
departments that
number?
are going to pay their own. We need to let them know that's how much is.
So that number right there is the number they get to. If you're just counting employees on the plan, that's the composite number you need to get to. So that's the number you need to budget for each member.
That's an increase of 2,200. I think we went down
Yes.
a little bit, though. I mean, I don't think we did the actual.
So if you go down, you have enough in your reserve to cover that amount if your claims are higher than, if your claims get on the high end, you can still cover it out of the insurance money. I want to talk to you about this number because they use a different formula to get to this number, which will
Just in the
make
middle
that
of
number
budgets
easy.
now, they're turning in their
Yep.
budgets now, so the ones that need to know that need to vamp their.
That's the
budget.
number for employees on the plan. They have a different formula as to how they get to that number, which I know what it is and I can explain it to you. And you have a couple of different, or you have a department or two that has to do it their own way. I know we're over time here. We can get to that number and I can show you how to get to that number. I can show them how to get to that number. But that's the number it needs to be for you to fund it to these guys. Yes. So, nutshell, recommend staying it, just renewing as is, medical plan, and on all of your ancillary lines of coverage, including the organ transplant. That's the recommendation. Recommendation of keeping the employee contributions the same as they currently are, have been for the last few years. The county picks up the rate, or the county picks up the difference, knowing that the claims are a variable amount, right? We don't know what those are gonna be, but you'll be safe if you do that because you have enough in reserve to more than cover that.
Well, Beth and I had the opportunity to go through this all ahead of time with your colleague. And we did go back and check to see if we felt that we had enough funds to cover it, and we do feel that way, without raising the employees' part, which I agree with. I think that's fine. there may come a time when we have to raise the employees' part a little bit. For right now, we can keep it at $25. And I think they've got a good program. And we will be paying probably $13,231 per employee per year. Which adds up to quite a bit of money for us, but I think that's just that's where we should be, and that's how it's going to be working. Gentlemen, do you have any questions about it?
No,
I do not.
Okay.
I'll explain it.
Then I would entertain a motion that we adopt the recommended amounts here and keep our employees at $25.
I will make a motion that we adopt the Apex renewal presentation as it stands.
I'll second.
Okay, so I've got a motion and a second to re-adopt here. And that did include the $25 per employee, right?
Correct.
Not raising it. Okay. So I'd call for a vote. All in favor of that motion, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passed. Now I see I have some things here to autograph.
Did you not have your coffee this morning?
The date today is 21. Scott, do you mind handing that back? Okay.
Thank you.
Well, I appreciate all the work that went into that, and I know there was a lot of work that went into it. And we really dug into it quite a ways.
I've heard. Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. I hope that this plan works for our employees or for everybody that's here. Again, I'd like to say that there may be a year come up when we have to change that $25, but I sure hope not. I'd like to stay with that as long as we can. Now am I plugged in? You can't hear me.
You got a light on? Guy's lights on. My light's on.
We have a situation coming up here that we're going to deal with. It is the vacation of certain public rights of way in Cutler. Just to briefly run through this for you, we have a lady who has lived for many years, probably close to 50, in a house in Cutler. And unfortunately, it burned about a year ago, maybe a little over a year. And as she began to rebuild, they have 3 lots in Cutler. what we have pictured up here is the lower half, the west half of, I don't know if it's half, but the west portion of Cutler. And can you point to her 3 lots for me there? Yeah. Yeah, right there, those 3. And what we ran into with her rebuilding was that originally her house, and you might be able to see it right there, sat right on the county street. Now, Cutler, Pittsburgh, Rockfield, Burroughs, those are all, and there are probably more, but those are platted communities, which means that even though they're not a incorporated town, they still have streets in there, and the difference between being in a platted community and being out in the country is that those streets belong to the county. They belong to you and me. Where out in the country, you own to the center of the road. Now, of course, you don't get to use, you can't build a house on the center, out to the center of the road, because the county has right-of-way. But it does shade things a little different. So when this lady went to rebuild, she was, back in the day, nobody checked on this. You know, 50, 60 years ago, 70 years ago when this house was built, they just went out, put a foundation down and built it. And it looks like it's way away from the road because it's way away from the blacktop. But the road is not just the blacktop. The road is the entire right-of-way that the county owns. In this case, back in what's ancient times for us, dating back to 1870s, 1860s, someplace in there, probably 70s. There was a street that continued on down to the creek because there was a mill down there, and they anticipated that this was going to be the important street of the town. So they made it with a 60-foot right-of-way, which is not needed at all. 60 feet wide street down through there. We have some streets in Cutler that are 40. You have some, like in Pittsburgh, that are 35, I think, or in that range. And so in order to help her, accommodate her so she could rebuild, we decided the best thing was to do was to vacate 10 feet of that 60 feet on her side. But then we got to looking at it, we said, well, that's still a 50-foot wide right-of-way. And what about the other side? The other side has a garage sitting right on the edge of it and everything, so we'll vacate 10 feet over there. This does not mean that we are, it's kind of a play on words, I think. It does not mean that we are giving them 10 feet. It means we are vacating 10 feet. Now, according to state law, the only person who can claim that is the person who lives there or who owns the property there. So it winds up being their property, that extra 10 feet onto their yard. And I think it'll help them quite a bit. Their well actually was sitting right out in the street, and it's not that old a well. So Ted, our attorney, has provided me with a outline here for the hearing on the vacation of public rights. Now, that means we're giving up the right of the public to 10 feet on each side of that street, which still leaves it as 40, which still leaves it, doesn't affect the fact that it's only about 14 foot wide is all that's paved down through there. So we've got a lot of extra right-of-way besides the 14 feet of blacktop. So it says, I will now call to order the hearing on the proposed vacation of public rights of way in the unincorporated town of Cutler. And so I'm supposed to ask Beth if all the, says, have all the required notices been given?
Yes.
Yeah. We had to send out to every person who has property that adjoins these streets notification of this, so they knew what was going on. And if you lived close to it, you got a type of notification so that if you needed that wide of a street for some reason, you could tell us. To the surveyor, it says, please show the proposed areas to be vacated, which you did, but could you point to it again there, that street?
Yeah, it's this strip right here and here.
Uh-huh. Now, I have to stop there for a minute because there's also an alley that they didn't even know was there because it's never been used as an alley. It was laid out on the plat, but they have I forget. Do you remember how wide that alley is? It's
12 feet, I think.
12 feet. That's what I was thinking too. Uptown, you can tell I'm a Cutler person. Uptown, the alleys are only 10 feet wide, but down in this part, they're 12 feet wide. So it's just 12 feet strip across their yard that they didn't even know was there. But what that means is they had problems placing their new septic and everything in there because it was going to be into the public alley. So they own the property on both sides. It has never been used. There are, says here, I'm supposed to ask the highway supervisor back here if there are any public utility properties located on this right-of-way. Did you get warned of this ahead of time? Okay. Well, I'll answer for you. That section of the alley has no electric poles, no gas, no buried electric, no phone lines, no nothing like that. No utilities through that unimproved alley, through that yard. Beth, have we had any written objections or remonstrances been filed?
Not that I know of.
Okay, nobody is opposed to this then. Are the owners of any of these parcels on the right-of-ways in attendance here? Anybody here? Okay. And so it asks if there is somebody here that's to have them come up and speak, but there is no one. So the motion to approve the vacations would be to vacate the public rights of way described in Resolution 2025-03. And I would ask if there's either of you that would like to make that motion.
I'll make that motion that we accept Executive Order 2025-03.
Okay?
I'll second.
You'll second? Okay. It says, if the board votes to approve both vacations, the board's attorney will prepare an ordinance for the board to sign and record. The auditor's office will add the vacated rights of way to the real estate records. So in other words, from now on, they'll be paying tax on 10 more feet of yard out there, which I don't know what that amounts to. And if there is anyone, if you know of someone in this situation that is aggrieved by this action, they can appeal to the Circuit or Superior Court. They have the right to appeal, okay? So then I would call for a vote. All those that are in favor of the vacation of 10 feet on each side of this Mill Street in Cutler and of the shown alley, please say aye.
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 Aye. The motion passes, and we will be taking that action. Thank you for bearing with me on that. And now we're ready to go. Huh?
I'll move we adjourn the hearing.
Oh, you got it, yeah, okay. You moved, we joined the hearing?
I'll second.
You'll second? All in favor of adjoining that hearing, please say aye.
Aye.
Okay. Motion passed. We have adjourned that hearing. We're back to our regular meeting, and we are ready for our sheriff. Thank you for bearing with me on that, Sheriff.
Not a problem. Good morning.
Good morning.
So I'm here today. We give out awards for various things at the sheriff's office. And those are usually done, I almost feel like behind closed doors,
Yeah?
just us present. And I thought maybe this would be a good opportunity to start bringing it out in the public to do these at a commissioners meeting. We have 4 of those to give out today. I just wanted to say, I was kind of shocked. A lot of the guys are here. That's just what they do. They support everybody. So I wanted to just point out to you guys, and I'm going to get some of this wrong, but some of the other awards that have been given that you guys may or may not even know about. So if Darren Giancola back here has been given a life-saving award from the Indiana Sheriff's Association in the past. Mike Hobbs is one. We sent him to a youth camp counseling for the Sheriff's Association. He's won male camp counselor of the year 7 times in a row,
Huh.
voted on by the kids. Mitch Catron just won last week. The Indiana Sheriff's Association gave him Deputy of the Year for the entire state of Indiana.
No kidding. That's wonderful.
Spencer Kingery and Corey Baines won a life-saving award from Indiana Sheriff's Association last year.
Good.
Our jail commander has won Corrections Officer of the Year for the state of Indiana. So I just wanted you guys and the general public to know what an outstanding law enforcement agency we have to go along with all the emergency services like our EMS and fire.
That
So
sounds wonderful.
with that, I'll have Sergeant Spencer Kingery come up and tell you why we're giving out these awards today. I want to add, Sergeant Kingery should probably be getting one of these himself. He was at this same incident and was a part of this, but he's the one that nominated all of these other people.
Okay.
Gentlemen, how are
Good
you guys
morning.
doing? Sergeant here with the Carroll County Sheriff's Office. So I nominated 4 folks for life-saving awards through our agency. I'll go ahead and briefly describe the incident that happened. On Wednesday, December 11th, 2024, at approximately 10:30 p.m., Carroll County E911 received a 911 call in reference to a male subject to Indiana Packers that was unresponsive. Deputy Fincher, Deputy Fiddler, and I arrived on scene just as IPC personnel were bringing the male subject on a backboard up the hallway into the nurse's station. While at the nurse's station, Carroll County EMS arrived and we started to perform life-saving measures to help the subject. IPC staff, medical staff also assisted with the incident. Deputy Fiddler and Fincher continued on investigating the incident of what happened, what caused this issue, where it happened at the plant. Continued on to follow up with family and friends after the incident happened. Paramedic Hamilton and EMT Battering and myself transported the subject to IU Arnett, where he was immediately taken into cath lab and eventually survived. To this day, he is still alive. He tried to go back to work about 4 weeks after the incident, and we've come to find out that the subject was just like his 4th heart attack. So he is alive today because of life-saving measurements to help everyone involved. That's that. So the first one we'll hand out is to Deputy Scott Fiddler. The second award will be out to Deputy Michael Fincher. The third award will be to Paramedic Shannon Hamilton from Carroll County EMS. And the fourth award will be to EMT Ariane Battering from Carroll County EMS.
is it. Thank you
Yeah,
guys.
thank you.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Congratulations to all of you that won there, and I want you to know that we all appreciate all the efforts and extra efforts and care and everything that you do for us in the county, because we know that we have an outstanding organization that's there. And Beth and I have always talked about that if somebody has a problem, we don't want the B team showing up. We want the varsity there. We want the A team showing up out there, and that's what I think we have. And I appreciate it very much. So congratulations. And I guess it's time for us to go on ahead then. Brandy Christensen. Thank you to all of you for coming in. Yes.
Good morning. Thank you for the opportunity to present. I think it's been over a year since we've been here last to update on our mobile crisis team that we received the opioid settlement grant funds for. I believe that was October in '23. And so I just have a one-pager that is sort of an executive summary of the work that we've been able to do, and then a bit of a longer report with some data tracking in the little bit bigger pamphlet, which is our July 2025 report. We did report out to the JRAP community. I believe that was in February as well. So we are currently, we've been up and running with the mobile crisis team since March. We have currently, I believe we have served 5 individuals on that, with that mobile crisis team. We are in hours of operations from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. and coordinating with the Delphi Police Department, the Carroll County Sheriff's Office, and Carroll County Community Corrections, keeping this a law enforcement mobile crisis team at this time. We have had some conversations with some faith-based leaders that are inquiring about being able to access the same mobile crisis team. And so we are discussing opening it up to outside of just law enforcement. Currently, we're asking law enforcement to reach out to our on-call when they encounter someone with substance use or mental health crises, at which time our shift managers are attempting to de-escalate in real time and then plug into our Carroll County mobile crisis team here, which operates out of the Brooks Center. I did break down our summaries from those total 5 calls. We had 4 on-scene responses. We referred follow-up referral the next day on 1 of them. Our average time to dispatch is 14 minutes, and our average arrival time is 25 minutes. So we've had a 100% success rate so far in using our mobile crisis team. Our crisis team is not a paramedic model, so those that are more intensive, that require a detention order, are more appropriate to be using the paramedicine model. But we did request and had a conversation, I don't know if he's still here, with the sheriff right there. We have met with him. There's discussion about allowing us to see the summary reports after those outcalls with the paramedics have happened, so that we can close the loop, which is kind of the point of the mobile crisis team, is to plug into our navigator and peer services to ensure that we close the loop, create that safety net, and hopefully reduce recidivism. And so we feel good about where we're at. We know that that our mobile crisis team operates differently than the paramedicine models, and we are definitely open to feedback and should we see that there was a bigger need for the less intensive mobile crisis team after hours, then we can review the data and increase those hours. But at this time, the hours are working well. We've also transported individuals through the assessments that Michelle does in the Carroll County. It's the corrections, right?
Corrections, probation, and in the jail.
And so we have had, success. We're still building it up. We've obviously used the first allocation of opioid settlement monies, which were dispersed to us, I believe, in 2023. And we are requesting 2024 and 2025 disbursements to continue building up the program. And I don't know, I'm coming to ask you, and I'm not sure that we've not done this. We don't do this in any other county. This is Carroll County specific, so we don't spread ourselves across the other counties. We're just doing it here.
I know that the judge, he wasn't the judge then, Shane Evans, was involved, and I asked him about it because we got some more money, more funds, and he wasn't sure either what they were going to do. What did you call that?
They're the opioid settlement funds, and so when we signed our contract, oh, I'm sorry.
The J-Rock.
The
Oh,
J-Rock.
J-Rock.
Yeah, right. So he was supposed to check with that, I think.
Okay. So we had signed a contract and for the initial amount, and then with the expectation that we would be able to report out and receive the additional disbursements.
Might want to just go ahead and file something.
Okay.
We can check on it from there.
Okay.
I mean, like a contract.
So, should I just follow up with you, or?
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, that'd be good.
Okay. Do you have any questions about?
Well, yes, so you are requesting that we continue a contract with you,
Yes, sir.
and you have not received a contract yet, right? So you'll have to work that through Beth, and then she'll have to bring it back to us at a future meeting. Okay?
Okay. Do you have any more questions about the work that we're doing? I
Well,
do have Michelle with us.
Well, I'm looking here at the average dispatch time of 14 minutes, average arrival time 25. Now, if say a deputy calls in and needs your services, that's the start of the clock, right?
Correct, and I knew, as soon as you said, I knew exactly where you were going. So what we try to do is keep people in their homes and de-escalated as quickly and easily as possible. So that time is from the initial call received by our crisis intervention supervisors, who will try to do a de-escalation over the phone. That's what they do. They are 988, they work through 988 as well, so they're trained to do that. So the hope is that we can get somebody de-escalated to a point where they can stay in their home, and then what they do is we follow up the next day in person. So there is a little window where when they call, our supervisors will have a conversation with the person to try and de-escalate. In the meantime, then if it doesn't seem like it's going that way, then that's when we call our on-call responder out. So that's where that little window would be. The 25-minute response time, that is from the initial call. So if a person calls and it's 14 minutes before the supervisor decides that this isn't going to be handled over the phone, then we're looking at 11 minutes for our responder to get there.
Where do they come from?
So we're based out of the Burke Center. Our current on-call person actually lives here in town, so it makes it a lot easier. The other person that may or may not respond if needed is me, and I'm just on the outside of the county, so we're still looking at those times. We kind of make sure we had our responders would be within a decent response area.
Okay. I should probably know more about this program than I do, but I'm sorry. I want to know. So you get on the scene out there and you see that this is a bad situation. Then what happens?
So the officers don't ever leave. We may ask them to step back, go back out to their car, just so that we can kind of have that conversation with the person where the badge isn't standing over them, because the badge can oftentimes cause escalation and make somebody nervous. So we will have those conversations. If it's not something that is going well to the point that we can, within our scope, handle it, then officers understand that we would need to, go further with that. So far, we haven't had that. We've been able to de-escalate. We've been able to transport on our own to other facilities or to Valley Oaks or that sort of thing on our own without the officers having to do so.
And the officers are aware of what is an appropriate level of escalation for us. We're continuously touching base with
All the departments, yeah. They know if they get out there and it's something where they're immediately seeing there's imminent danger and they're probably gonna be looking at an emergency detention order, it's not something that, because what we do is voluntary, we can't force somebody to go anywhere. So if an officer sees that they're thinking it's gonna have to be an EDO, an emergency detention order, we don't even get involved. Other than, we would then get that information, hopefully, as those are systems we're still trying to work out afterwards. So when the person comes back to the community, we're still there to support them, because that's the biggest thing we see. We don't have a lot of options here in Carroll County for this kind of support, these kind of services. So we send them out somewhere else, and they do their short-term treatment, and they feel better, and they're good, and they're released, and they come back home, and then there's nothing here to support them. And so we get that kind of vicious cycle. So that is kind of one of the biggest pluses of our program that we are truly proud of, is that they come back and we're still with them, where our peers are still working with them, where they're getting them connected to services, we're checking in with them and giving them that support and making sure that they have what they need to hopefully not continue to go through that cycle.
Okay.
I noticed that Burlington, Camden, and Flora don't have any. Are they not aware of the program?
They are aware, yes, we've met
You
with
just
all
don't
of them,
have that
talked with all of them.
problem.
They just, at this point, haven't had an incidents where they felt it was, I guess, worthy of calling us. We're also still working on, this isn't something that people just jump into. There's a trust that has to be built. Are you gonna do what you're saying you're gonna do? Are you actually gonna come out and make a difference and do any good, right? Because systems have worked well for many years the way that they've been done. But we've been blessed that the leaders here in the county, such as the sheriff, the chiefs, and all of the officers, see a need to not be just putting people in jail when their situation isn't really criminal. But it's also hard for somebody to be out on the road when they've been doing their job for so long and go, okay, I'm gonna call this chick and she's gonna show up, is she gonna do, So we're still working to kind of build that trust and make sure that they understand exactly what we're doing and how it works and how we are really here to support them and take some of these things off of them that aren't normally meant for them to deal with as officers.
And to your point, we are working our way towards outreach with those chiefs directly as well. We just don't have the relationships established there.
Any other questions, gentlemen?
I don't believe I have any.
My information is on there. Michelle's room, if you guys ever have any other questions or want more information about what we're doing or how it works or anything, please do not hesitate to reach out. Happy to answer any questions that you ever have.
I know I was on the council when you first approached us with that settlement money, and we decided to do it, so.
So who do I check with for the J-Rock?
Well, I'm actually on the J-Rock, and I don't know that it's ever, unless it was brought up in the meeting, I wasn't at, I was at the virtual meeting, I wasn't at, 'cause
I've missed the last couple because of calls.
okay, sorry, I missed mine for different reasons, I was in Alaska, but, I will check in with, Shane, that's who you were referring to, Shane Evans, he actually started this whole process for us initially, and see where we're at with that. Yep, absolutely, absolutely.
And I'll take your card as well.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Megan Smith. Board of Health member appointment, Jennifer Fife. Is she? Okay, we'll have to put that over the next meeting. Troy Hawkins is not here. Carroll Manor, we could get you up here.
Bill.
Hello?
Kimberly Roy, Carroll Manor. I wanted to bring you guys estimates back when we had the bad storm on June 18th, the Thursday, the next day, that refrigerator went down. I called ICU Mechanical, it took them a week to get out there. They came out finally, did an estimate. Then I got a second estimate too from a local guy, Rick King, who does a lot of businesses and stuff around here to see what we're looking at as far as price. I have a bill from ICU Mechanical to come out and look at it, it's $300. And then somebody came out and started authorizing all kinds of stuff that they were supposed to, so I did intercept some stuff, and so it didn't happen, but I did get the estimates for those stuff, so you guys know what you're looking at as far as prices for the bigger ticket items. And,
Is that the walk-in refrigerator that went down?
No, the main fridge, the main double door fridge.
Okay, yeah.
And so, Tony and those guys, they loaded up and gave us one because we didn't have any. Because after that one went down, our walk-in fridge went down, then our walk-in freezer due to the heat. So everything was going down at once. I just wanted to get
What happened? Was it lightning strikes or
I
what?
don't know what happened up there. I think the walk-in fridge and the freezer, they both froze up. But when you have that AC unit that's not working inside, so there's heat there, and then they're backed up to the windows out there. There's heat there, and that box is just trying to keep everything cold. It's working too hard. So I think that's why both of them froze up, because that's never happened before, the humidity and the heat. But those got taken care of. They just had to be thawed out and stuff like that. The smaller stuff I did. These are the bigger ticket items that really, I mean, need approval and everything else to go through. So I have this whole file. One I did not get to intercept was the AC unit back there for the kitchen unit, the kitchen area. So that's $2,890. So everything else I've intercepted. The only thing I really need an answer on in the near future would be the main fridge. So we've got the jails open right now. I got two different estimates for it. The guy that was told to go ahead and do it, when I called him, he said, I already got the compressor, let me know, because he's only got a certain amount of time to take it back. So that's the only one I need an answer on right now, but I wanted to give you guys some numbers on some stuff, like the second pump for the sewer.
You mentioned, I'm not sure if it was the air conditioner or something, a bill for $2,800.
If somebody authorized it, didn't have the authority to authorize, and that person came right in and did it.
Then it won't be paid. I mean, I just can't,
Right.
that makes no sense at all.
I did get a hold of the insurance company, and all this stuff added together doesn't even hit the deductible. It's $10,000 deductible.
Yeah.
They have actually, I guess, a claim thing for storm damages, repairs to, maintenance and repairs to appliances and stuff. Yeah, that's not on us. But I wanted to give you guys these estimates, just like the sewer, when the sewer started going down last August, and then you guys authorized for the new panel to be put in. When it went down, both pumps, it's on a two-pump system. So this one will go for a while, then it kicks over to the other one. And they rotate back and forth, so they're not running all the time. And then they go, I guess like this. But he took both pumps because they were bad. He brought us back a rebuilt pump of his. Rebuilt one of our pumps, brought it back when he put the new panel in, but never brought back a second pump. So I question, where's that second pump? Where's the two-pump system? Even the new panel has it for two pumps. And he said, well, that wasn't in the estimate for the new panel. So I don't know why that's not in the estimate, or I don't know why you take two pumps and not bring two back, but, so that's in here. That's something that was authorized that I stopped.
But he provided one of his own that was rebuilt, correct?
That we
So,
worked off of for a while.
so but we still have it?
No, we took it back and brought our rebuilt one back.
So we're on right now, just one pump. Yeah, we need to get that second one back.
So, when that was authorized and I stopped it, this is what the new pump would cost to add the other pump back in, plus freight, plus labor. So, I just want to give you guys some estimates here. The only thing that I need to know, if we need to move ahead with, is the refrigerator that's in the kitchen, the big commercial fridge. Only because the guy's got to return the part if we're not going to do that. So, I have two.
Kim, I didn't get that. What do you need to know about this double door cooler?
Yeah, the main fridge,
No?
the stainless steel one, went out after the storm, and they said the storm probably did it, but insurance won't cover anything, because it's gotta be $10,000. So I got two estimates, one from ICU Mechanical, who came out and told me first that the compressor was bad. I got a second estimate from a gentleman that's local. He came out and looked at it for free and gave me an estimate. So when this was authorized or ordered, I stopped it so that we could get the estimates on how much it is.
What does a brand new one cost?
Compressor?
No, the entire unit.
Oh, I have no idea. I just got the compressor.
Well, I mean, if we've got a $10,000 deductible, it's kind of like putting a Band-Aid on a gaping wound. Instead of putting just the compressor in, why don't we get a bid on the entire refrigeration unit? And if it's over $10,000, then we'll just get a new unit.
That's why I was kind of upset about the kitchen unit, the AC unit, because I have two bids. I had a bid for what it would cost to fix the compressor, or what it would cost to replace the 20-year-old unit that we keep having problems with. Nobody ever got the chance to decide any of that. I got
What does it cost to put a new compressor in it?
for the refrigerator,
Yeah.
or the AC unit. The refrigerator, one bid I got was $1,086.74. And that's through Delphi Mechanical. That's Rick Keene's company.
1086, right?
Mhm. And ICU Mechanical wants to charge $1494.63. So the savings of $400 some dollars. So you can make copies for them. This is guys, and we can make copies and give them to all. I've got copies already. Okay.
Now, you got another cooler from the sheriff, didn't
We're
you?
using that one right now.
Good. Good. Thank you for holding that out there and
We
everything.
didn't have one, because once that went down, then the walk-in went down, so we didn't have any.
Is that taking care of your needs
Right now, yes.
currently?
Yeah, so I just wanted to give you guys some estimates of stuff that will need to be taken care of in the future. But the.
Do you need both? I'm sorry, Kim, for interrupting. Do you need two double-door coolers? You do need two of them?
Well, we could use them definitely.
Okay.
We store all of our lemonade, teas, milks, all that stuff, and our walk-ins, all of our fruits and vegetables and condiments and all that stuff. So,
Okay.
You have room for it? Two of them? Evidently you do.
yeah, we've already
Got two now,
all by
so.
the dishwasher.
Okay.
So we just got.
That'll be a commercial refrigerator, right?
Pardon me?
Be a commercial refrigerator,
Yes,
it's not a
that's
house, because you're talking some
Yeah.
major dollars there, I'm sure.
So that's totally up to you guys. I mean, I just want to get you the estimates so you can see the numbers.
So where do we go from here, Kim? What do you want us
The only thing I would need would be, well, if he wants to get an estimate on what a whole new system would cost, a whole new refrigerator, I'd have to get that. But as far as the compressor, just fixing the compressor of the fridge, I have the two estimates. I need to know whether we're gonna go that way or whether we're gonna go the other way. So I have to get the estimate first, because he's only got a timeline of so long to take the compressor.
How old that refrigerator is?
Sheriff?
Again, I have a wonderful maintenance guy. I don't know if he can replace the compressor, but
He might be able to.
I can ask him. Has he made it over to see you?
Yeah.
Okay.
I met him.
He's
I've read it
he has
before.
saved us a bunch of money so much already in just like 2 weeks.
Well, that's good.
And we can have him come over and look at it and see what it would cost. That
Yeah,
way.
please do.
Estimates.
Please have him go over and look
These
at
are
it.
the estimates.
It'd be nice to know if he could put a new compressor in something like that.
I just wanted to give you guys those estimates. Okay.
Good.
Thank you.
Keep us up to date, Kim. We're kind of sitting here waiting, aren't we?
I tried to get hold of Judge Hawkins and he's not answering. Megan hasn't made it in yet, she had an appointment. So I guess both of us could be
There we go.
Oh, there's the judge. We are ready for you right now. I don't know how we're doing on time, I just know we got.
No, perfect. I saw it was 10:15, I was seeing outside, so, and then I saw the phone call from. So, So good morning. My request is to have approval to apply for a court interpreter grant. Part of the reason is that with the funding issues that everybody went through, the language line, which is a phone service that we utilize for for translation needs, was paid for by the Office of Court Services for all the counties, and so we utilize that pretty heavily. That's no longer covered by court services, and the translation expense will be the county's responsibility. So there are grants available, and to be candid, I found out about this kind of late in the game and very close to the deadline, so we've already applied and have been approved. It's a reimbursable grant. It's $5,000 is what we were awarded, so there's no cost to the county, but I needed to get permission from you guys because it's reimbursable.
So this will cover for somebody to come in if you have a problem, or do you know?
Well, if we need a translator, it'll cover those services, and for the things that we can use language line for once we figure out when the contract really expires. Right now, the code is still working, so I'm still using the state code. But then for certain things, we have to have a live translator for, so please, or something like that. We have a Spanish translator or interpreter, translator, we should say, who comes in once a month and has for 35 or 40 years probably. And so we still utilize that in person because there's a large volume on the phone that's difficult. But as we see, more diversity, the needs are there. Not a lot, but a fair number of Haitian Creole and some Chinese. There are different dialects, and some of those are unbelievably expensive if you can find a translator. So,
Did you say you can find translators, or
if you can find one, they're available, but some of them, like certain Chinese dialects, we had one, I forget which one it was, but a couple years ago, and it was like $500 an hour for somebody to come in with a minimum amount. So because obviously with that skill set, and you're needed, you can charge. But that'll help offset some of the cost that the county will have for that. So
how do you know as a judge that that person can actually translate well?
there's a certification process that they go through, and so they have some sort of record to do that. And you can use non-certified court report or non-certified interpreters for certain things, and I guess you have to trust other people. Our benefit now is one of the deputies speaks Spanish, so I've asked him, is what you're hearing, what should be being said, and he said, yes. And he helps out quite a bit too, with people who come in if the translator's not there, and we can reset their date to the date they're going to be there. So it's a huge help to us having that bilingual ability. Sometimes you don't know, I suppose, because I don't understand many other languages enough to know what is accurate and what's not. So.
I would think some of the body language, either from some of the body language, if you've got two people talking back, one has a quizzical look on their face, you're like, okay, they're not,
yeah.
the connectivity's not there.
Yeah, you get some of that, and part of the interesting thing is the cultural differences. Like a lot of countries will change the day and month in the order. So like if your birthday is 10/5, you say yes, and I think that's October 5th. That's May 10th to some people. And so we got to fix the records or multiple last names. Which order they go in. So sometimes, it's always interesting. But yeah, so that was my request for this morning.
Okay, so we need a motion here, gentlemen, that would to approve this grant.
I'll move that we allow Judge Hawkins to submit for the translator services grant funding.
I'll second.
Okay, so I have a motion and a second to approve the grant funding, right? Am I right with that? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passed.
Thanks, gentlemen.
Thank you.
Can you go back to this health department and just, all she wants to do is, appoint a new board of health member that the Board of Health has suggested.
Okay.
Her name is Jennifer Five.
Do you want to make that
You wanna
appointment?
Reschedule it.
Jennifer is a veterinarian with Dr. Bush's office.
She qualifies.
More than
With whose office?
Dr. Bush in Flora.
Oh. Okay. Well, I'm sure that they have checked which status that they have to have and done it. So, our job is to just ratify their appointment, right? Okay, so I would entertain such a motion.
I'll move that we appoint the recommendation of the Board of Health, Jennifer Fife, as a board member, new board member on the Carroll County Health Department.
I'll second.
Okay. So I have a motion and a second to appoint Jennifer Fife to the Board of Health. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Done. Motion passed. Carroll Manor, I guess we're down to the only thing that's NADA, isn't it?
Yes, and she brought up this note to give to me so I can present it to you.
Okay.
It says send to paper on July the 24th, advertise in the paper July 30th, accept bids until August 14th at 4 p.m. and then open bids August 18th of 2025, and that is that you will open bids for her 2030 reassessment. That's all I know.
So what are we supposed to do about it? She just notify us or?
And I think she wants you to approve these dates.
What was that?
Approve the dates for it to go to the paper and be advertised and then accept bids until July 14th and then open new bids on the August 18th.
For the bids.
Okay, will she open bids in here?
That's your meeting.
Okay. So we need to approve that action. Okay. So I'd entertain a motion.
I'll make that motion that we approve the advertising dates and the date to open bids for reassessment.
I'll second.
Okay. Got a motion and a second to approve the advertising and opening dates for reassessment. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Okay. Now, let's go to the highway department. You want to come up for us? What do you have to present to us today?
I don't have nothing today to present to you. I can give you an update. I got a text message right before I got here on our grader we've been desperately waiting on. We were supposed to pick it up today. They ran into a few more issues.
Oh.
Right now, the bill's up to $75,000. I'm guessing it's gonna be around the $90,000 range by the time it's done. A new one's running about $750,000. I kinda checked into that, trying to get numbers. We're gonna start chip and sealing, start tomorrow, fire back up since hopefully there's no more rain this week, so. We'll be doing chip and seal starting tomorrow, and hopefully they're supposed to call me later on today to give me a better update on the grader, and hopefully we get the grader back and start getting on more of these gravel roads.
Okay.
Seems
Where,
like they just
where,
keep
where are you
running.
chip and sealing now?
We are gonna be doing right down, off 400 south, and I believe it's 600, 700 west, right by Fred Wise's house. There's only a little section there we gotta do, and then we're starting on 100 north, right there at the hog plant, and going all the way to State Road 75.
Okay. 400 south, what are you doing? What section?
400 south, Fred Wise paid to do a section of his right there. It's only like 850 feet or something he's paying for us to do right there to maintain it. So it's not gonna be but 2 minutes worth of work. And then
Okay.
we'll be moving to 100 north and then going to 225 east off of 218 afterwards. And then our last road is 900 west, which is range line going all the way to county, up almost to county line. And then we'll be turning around and coming back doing the second layer on everything.
Okay.
Hopefully all said and done, if we get good weather, 2 more weeks and we'll be done chipping seal.
Did you get 800 south?
Yes, the first coat on it.
First coat, you're gonna
Yeah.
put another one on there?
We're gonna put 3 coats on that.
Really?
Yeah, just because it was gravel and we penetrated it, I'd like to put 3 coats on it, so try building it up a little thicker.
I drove it last week just to see it, and I noticed it looked a little different, and that's why you're not done with it.
Yeah, we're not even close to done with it.
Okay.
They recommend letting it sit at least a week before you put your second layer on. That way the water out of the oil and everything can come out of it before you cap it in. They said the longer you let the first layer sit, the better you are. So this year we're kind of doing things different. We're just putting the first layer down all the way and then coming over and doing the second layer. That way it sits longer and hopefully it's a little better in the future.
How far on 800? I mean, I
we did-
guess you're going east off 75?
Yeah, we came off 75 and did a mile of the gravel, and then we'll be capping off 75 to that mile that's already chipped and sealed. We're gonna put a
Okay.
top on there while we're there.
Gotcha.
There was a section in there that was gravel, and then you come down and it's paved both ways, and you know, why wouldn't we hook up to that? Anything else the gentlemen have for him? I appreciate you coming in, and would like to have you come to every meeting if you can.
I will
Okay?
definitely try to make it to every meeting.
Okay. All right.
Thank you.
Okay,
Thank you. Anything else to come before the board? Sheriff?
So, I'm not sure if this is, we talked about last week, we got the 7,000 some odd dollars that we're gonna get back from the new jail.
Yeah.
And we talked about the fact that we need to get a grinder out of the new jail as well. I didn't know if we could have, somehow we needed to say that we wanted to use that 7,000 towards. I still don't have a cost for you, they're still working on it, but if we need to say in a meeting that we were gonna use that 7,000 towards that, or.
I talked to him a little bit ago, and Kay, the project manager, wanted to know what we were going to do and how to proceed with the remaining funds, because Ted had asked her about the contingency funds, and came back at $7,837.50. So
That's what we got back.
after you guys got a report last time about all the different contingencies that they did, but we thought it might be a good idea just to keep it in there so they could get the grinder, use it for that.
Well, no, that's not gonna go through BW at all.
Okay,
So if we're talking about leaving it with them,
well, that's what she's asking, or redirect it, how to redirect it, or what we are going to do with the remaining funds. It says it can be used towards a need at the facility. I mean,
Have 'em.
are they gonna get the grinder for
I'd
it?
have them.
VW out of it.
Yeah,
That's a cut of it.
yeah, they've got enough money.
Yeah. Plenty.
Have a, just,
Do
I
that
guess, just have her send us a check.
Well, if he's looking into it himself, we don't want it to stay there.
Right.
Right.
Who are you thinking about having it?
the QPH is the one that did
QPH?
all the
That's what I thought.
initial stuff, and that's who's looking into
Mhm.
the grinder stuff right now.
QPH,
Quality, planning.
Have you had any more trouble with the situation that you had before?
Absolutely, yeah.
Weekly, daily?
No, not daily, weekly.
I should never.
I've not had to scoop. Our maintenance guys have been staying on top of it, God bless him. So, but yeah, it's still, it's an issue. And
I figure it would be, but-
just so we're clear, I've taken commissary away and not allowed them to order any to try and get them to stop putting things down the
Yeah.
toilets that they shouldn't be. And so it's slowed down a little bit, but
I guess I've got, in my own mind, I've got to figure out how in the world there's that much water flow to flush a blanket.
well, they tear it apart, number one, it's not a whole blanket, they tear it apart.
Okay.
I mean, it's still pretty good chunks, but they tear it out and they twist it, so it's really small and feed it through.
So they have to work pretty hard at it to get it screwed.
They've got nothing better to
They
do.
got time on their hands.
Library, I know I spoke to you, because Amy being at the high school library, she had so many extra books out there. Is that,
So
I
there's
know
no-
you
A,
said you
there's
had a
not
couple
room.
more sources, but,
Yeah, A, there's no room for a library. B, they all have tablets now, so they had tiny, almost like phones that they did things on as an
Okay.
inmate.
Mhm.
And now they have tablets, so on that, it has law library on it. It has free books that they can read on it. There's
Okay.
books they can purchase to read
Okay.
on that. So their library is on
all right, on site.
an iPad.
Gotcha.
In
Do
their,
they use it?
yes, absolutely, yeah.
They don't tear it up.
Oh, I won't say they never tear it up, but then they have to pay for it. Or they don't get it. Yes. It's essentially rent, like they rent it. And if they damage it though, they have to pay to replace it or they don't get enough. It's through a third party company that takes care of, that does that.
That's interesting.
Well, does that require a motion that we say that, or
should.
just everything, we're all in agreement?
Yes,
I'll-
make a motion that you tell me to get this back.
Okay, I'll make a motion that we get a hold of BW Contractors, request the $7,800 and some odd dollars contingency, that we request those funds, and then we hold those funds to be applied to the purchase of a grinder for the jail.
Well, there's steps to do that, so it won't be.
Yeah. Let's get the money back.
Agreed.
I'll second.
You'll second.
Yeah.
Okay, so I have a motion and a second to request the funds back. Correct me if I'm wrong on this. To request the funds back so it's in our hands, and that we hold that money towards a grinder. Anything need to be added to that?
I think not.
Okay. All in favor of that motion, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passed.
And the only other thing I wanted to say real quick was to thank you guys for letting the county highway, they put in a gravel parking area and a little driveway across the back. They did a really good job. So
Good.
thank you to them and you guys.
Okay.
Thank you.
Anything else to come before the board?
I would like to ask the representative from Economic Development, what's the current status with Broadway
They are coming in on August 4th.
on August 4th?
Them and
Okay.
Broadway. You asked me to do that.
Okay, all right.
And they couldn't come, the other one couldn't come today, so they're coming on August 4th.
Okay, very well, that's all.
Trying to get them off the hook.
Yeah.
And that's for the,
Fiber.
Fiber, yeah, okay. Well, I'm curious, did anything happen more with the building out south here?
Not yet. For the record, Jonathan Blake, Arvale Solutions, the Carroll County Consultant. We did receive the initial offer from a potential buyer. They wanted the building as well as the remaining vacant lots. They've since decided they don't want the vacant lots, they just want the building, but they're trying to figure out how they can maximize the size of the building they can get on that lot to fit all their operations.
So they need to enlarge the building?
Sounds like they need to triple the size of the building.
They need to what?
Triple the size of the building,
Triple?
yep, so.
Is there that much room on that lot?
That's a 10-acre lot, I mean, they can
Oh.
get quite a bit on it, but they're trying to figure out with their engineers how they do that.
Okay.
They had sent a request for incentives that we would offer them, or the county would offer them. And our response to them was, we need to know what your investment's gonna be, we need to know what kind of jobs you're gonna bring to the area, what the salary of those jobs would be, before we can have any of those conversations. We can't just write an open check to anybody. So, we also want to make sure that the use that they're bringing there is in line with the purpose of the industrial park, so. Still waiting to get back to them on that.
Very good. Thank you.
You?
Thank you.
Again, anybody else have anything to bring up? I'd entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
All in favor, say aye.
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 Aye. We are adjourned. Thanks to all of you.
Here are copies of some of the bids on replacing refrigerators. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I'll put those right
Warren,
there.
you want to see those?
What is it?